Welcome back, all my friends. Alright. Hey everyone. You're here for another episode of Parkour at Home. That's Coach FreeLove, your coach for the hour. And you're here for another installment of Firestorm at Home. If you guys didn't know, Firestorm at Home is a lot more than just parkour. We also include stuff for 4 to 6 year olds. So we have Little Heroes class times. Those are really awesome. You should check those out. They're a little bit shorter than the hour, because shorter attention spans are, easier to, manage in that sense. So a shorter class time for those slightly younger groups. And we also have a strength class as well as tricking and acro flex. So Firestorm at Home is like Firestorm at the gym, like actually. We have a bunch of different options for you guys to check out. And for many of you, because there are so many options, it's actually more available than your previous class membership. So you guys have plenty of access. I would love to see you checking it out. Now, if you guys have your space clear, we are ready. Today is going to be a fun vault-oriented sort of day. We're going to work a little bit more on some more advanced vault technique. So I've cleared out my space. I have kept my chair. It's a good chair. I like my chair. Spins around. Cool. Call it my dead friend chair. It's a nice chair. No, so guys, the idea is that we're gonna need somewhere that we can sit or lift ourselves up in. So if you guys have a nice strong chair or a couch that you can use that for, go ahead and keep that near you. We're going to clear that space, and I have a mat today. It's going to help us when we're doing our vaults. If you are on a hardwood surface and you have your mat, if it's grippy, perfect. If it's slippy, probably not. I'm currently on my mat and carpet, and that's a nice, soft, sort of comfortable space where I can practice my movements. So you guys, I'm going to get started with class. That should have been more than enough time for you to get ready. You guys have popped on, set your phone down, turn your volume up, hit subscribe, click the notification bell, and started your mobility with me, Coach FreeLove for Parkour. So, neck rolls. Chin over to one side and roll it down to our chest and pick it up on the other side. Yep, just like that. Back and forth. Nice. Let's come back up to a neutral or strong position here with our head and neck, and start with our shoulder shrugs. Shrug them up to your ears, pull them back to a full pinch, down to as low as they can go, and then out in front of you. We're going to start with a backward circle for today's shoulder shrugs. Again, emphasize the use of the shoulder blade as well as your breathing in your mobility. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Take your time, breathe, relax, move through it nice and calm. And let's go the opposite direction here on this shrug. So let's go forward now. Still hitting that pinch in the shoulder blades and the backwards lift. Trying to maintain that neutral posture in the head and neck. Upright, forward facing, chin is forward and neutral. Nice, big shrug. Every time, big shrug. And let's stop there at the top. Stop and hold it for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're going to go back to our pinch. Hold it back in the pinch for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good, and release. Very nice. We're going to be using our chest, our shoulders, and our back quite a bit today. So we're going to increase some of our usual mobility. And as we go to our elbows, we're going to do our lateral arm circles. We're going to do our wrist rolls, just like normal as well. And then we're going to do just a few more arm and upper body swing mobility drills, just to, again, engage the upper body in the right way to prepare for the workout that we're going to do today. So not every single time do we do our mobility or our warm-up is it exactly the same. Sometimes it's slightly changed, and again, we tailor our movement for our workout. Let's go opposite direction now. Again, try and keep the elbow up at the height of the shoulder with these, and then try and get the hand to move seamlessly around that elbow as a circle around the center point there. Alright, try and mind your posture. Good, let's stop there. Nice. We're going to roll our wrists out. Go ahead and interlock the fingers. We're going to go a washing machine method for our wrist roll. So a few one way and then a few the other. So let's get into it. A few circles one way, a few circles the other way. You guys can see I'm kind of leaving my finger out so you can see exactly how I'm mobilizing that wrist. Moving it, mobilizing it, essentially the same difference. Always breathing nice and strong through the nose, not the mouth. Nice. Go ahead and shake that out. Legs go side to side. And then also kind of flop them up and down a little bit. Oh, right. So, like I said, we're going to continue with a little bit more upper body than we usually do, because today is going to be a vaults day. When I say it's a vaults day, I mean that like we're going to be doing stuff on the floor, and maybe a little bit of lifting ourselves up in our chair. So, we're going to use quite a bit of upper body in today. So, we're just going to start with a big T pose. We're going to go forward to the point where we're about to close our hands, almost like we're going to clap them. Now we're going to reach straight up, and then we're going to come back down, palms out, and we're going to come back down to that clap, but don't actually, and reach up, and palms down, and we're making almost a big triangle, big kind of rounded triangle with our hands. Right, there's that one side of the triangle, second side of the triangle, third side of the triangle. Nice. Big reach. Hold that right there for just a moment. We're going to keep our hands straight together. We're going to reach them up. And then back down. We're going to do just a few lifts straight up in here, setting up and down. It's almost like you're holding on to something. Imagine that you're holding a weight. Good. Just going ahead and bring those back in by your sides for just a moment. We're going to do a few more arm movements. I know they're going to be a little bit more intense, but bear with me. We're going to interlock our fingers, but not in front of our body. We're actually going to do that behind our back. So, clasp your hands together behind your back. Sit yourself up nice and straight and strong. Extend your arms and lift them up as high up as you can go. Now, some of us don't have a lot of flexibility in here. I personally don't. So, I'm just going to go ahead and keep that tight grip. Lift up. Try not to sacrifice my body's form. Don't let my hands come apart. Don't let my fingers slip apart. Good posture. Remind yourself. Check yourself. Adjust. And release. Keep the hands behind you. And breathe. We're going to go back into that lift for just a few moments. So, keeping those hands behind you again. Not in the lift, kind of relaxing back here and down here now. Deep breath in through the nose. Out through the mouth. And reverse lift. Now some people's reverse lift gets very high up, especially if their arms come apart or they're just very flexible. Both of these are a great thing. I love seeing that. There's a lot of people that also will bang and then they'll imitate the act of reaching up higher. But the idea here is really just to go ahead and release that, bring those arms back down slowly. The idea is really just to start warming up the outside of the shoulder, as well as the front side of the shoulder socket here, where we are getting this connective tissue in our pec, where our chest grabs onto our shoulder. So as long as we take care of and mobilize this area in here nicely, then we're going to be ready for all the impact that it's going to have to carry when we move forward. We're going to go down into our spine, wide stance, and torso twisted out. Slow and controlled. Get to your max. Not really too much of a hold. Good stuff. Momentum twist now, so just a little bit more. Use the arms to drive in. And don't even trip potato chip. We're actually going to have a whole episode on twisting in flips. So, one snap. Guys, keep following us, but get those twists going. Nice. Woo! I'm feeling good, looking good, moving down onto my hips. So isolate as much of the spine as possible. That means keep it in place. Then roll the hips around. The idea here is more pelvic tilt in order to help mobilize the very base of the spine as well as the hips at the very outer range of the hips. And that nearly standing position, most of us consider neutral. We're just outside of that. So when we do these pelvic tilts, and in both directions, so switch if you have not yet done so. But when you do these hip circles or these pelvic tilts, I want you to consider that it's really just designed to make sure that when you're standing or doing anything for the rest of your life while you're upright and alive and waking, that it's going to, help to make that task more comfortable, that you're not going to have as much of pain in your lower back. So if parents, you're at home, you're sitting on the couch, you guys can hear me or you're paying attention, you're watching the kids do the thing. This stuff that you get that goes on in your lower back, the pain, and you're sitting up, a lot of that comes from the fact that we just don't move our body parts the right way. And so for those of you that are younger that are watching this, following this, props to you. Good stuff. We're going to go into our knee circles and continue to mobilize our body in a healthy way that will benefit us for the rest of our life. Nice. And don't forget both directions. Nice. Keep breathing nice and strong, in through the nose, out through the mouth. Nice. Good. Go ahead and stand up and shake them out just a little bit. Pump your heels into the floor. One of the other things I like to do is a few walking, paces in places. Sorry, in place, not multiple. Awesome. All right, guys. We are nearly done. We're going to mobilize our ankles, and then we're going to do our warm-ups, and then we're going to get some water. So we're going to roll out to the blade of our foot and roll back to flat. We're going to repeat that process several times over, lifting our big toe up, putting it back down. Just a few more there. And now we're going to do a calf raise where we lift our heel up off the ground. So just our heel comes up, toe stays pinned to the floor. Good, and now we're going to try the opposite of that. We're going to flex our foot and lift the toe up off the ground, just like that. Mobilizing the ankle, warming up the shin and the calf. Try and keep your balance. I like to keep my hands and weight in as a center. and keep myself in as strong a posture as possible. Good, and then just a few more of that big toe, flipping up, turning out to the side. Good. Now if you guys want, you can continue to do a few more ankle rolls, but we're really just gonna go right on in from that to our jogging in place. Now if you guys have your mat, do please keep in mind that it's important to, stay on and around your mat. I'm gonna jog just slightly off my mat because it is so much more comfortable. I know my chair is right next to me, so I'll be very careful. Hopefully I don't catch myself. Alright, so we're gonna drop down and we're gonna go into a push-up position. From our push-up, we're gonna do a few shoulder touches, right? So, ready, and drop. So I'm down in my push-up, one hand to the opposite shoulder, and get it going. Try not to let the body rock. Try to keep the head in this neutral position, and keep breathing. A little bit of sway in the body is bound to happen, but try not to let it move a whole lot is really our goal here. And back up to a jog. Back on up, get on into it. Keep yourself breathing. Good, and we're going to squat. We're going to widen out, squat down just a little bit here. We're going to go about a quarter of the way down. We're going to hold it. We'll go about halfway down. We're going to hold it. Then we're going to go back up to a quarter. We're going to kind of do some fun little fluctuations in there in our squat from that quarter squat to that half squat. So just a few. Staying in the upper half of that range of motion. Good, and stand all the way up. Straddle those legs, lock them out for a moment. We're gonna lean out, L shape in the body. I'm gonna turn here so you can see it. I'm in my straddle. I'm at 90 degrees in my torso, as close as I can get to it comfortably. Leaning out, keeping my chest and my chin up. A few nice deep breaths. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Now I'm going to hold myself just slightly below that 90. A few more deep breaths, in through the nose, and out through the mouth. I'm going to turn my torso all the way, turn it to one side all the way. I'm turning it currently towards you guys. That is my left turn. I'm going to hold it here for just a few moments. In through the nose, and out through the mouth. Another deep breath, in through the nose, and out through the mouth. And we're going to twist to the opposite side. 2 more nice deep breaths, just like that. In through the nose, out through the mouth, in through the nose, and out through the mouth. Good. Go ahead and sit yourself on up. We're going to stand up nice and tall again. Shake out. I am so ready for a quick drink of water. I hope you guys are too. Go on ahead, get yours. I'm going to go get mine. All right. Welcome back, everyone. I hope you had enough water, or enough time to get some water, and that you don't accidentally drink too much water in these water breaks. May not have mentioned it enough before, but it's possible to accidentally go in there and chug down a whole water bottle in like 30 seconds to really hurt your stomach by trying to do workouts after having done that. It's making you uncomfortable and it makes you less productive. So just make sure that you guys don't accidentally do too much, and that you are also mindful and don't do too little. A little sip is not enough. Get a good drink. 1 or 2 drinks is usually good. Now, I did mention it before. You're going to probably want a chair for some of today when we start working on our dash vault. The other thing that will help you, specifically for our dash vault, I've got a couple pretty serious books here. They're nice, large, and hardback, which means that I can kind of hold myself up on them when I need to, as I need to. They also can come off to the side of my active workout space, and they act as kind of markers for where I'm doing movements and tracking my personal progress. So, that being said, we are going to start with today's first skill, and this is training for your Kong to precision, as well as your Kong to cat. So, now obviously I'm not going to tell you to vault over a thing and climb and land on a wall, but using our book here and our book here, we can set ourselves up for a good opportunity. I'm going to set them off to the side of my mat, and just to start, I'm going to put them together. First book is where my hands should go for my floor Kong. The second book is where my feet should go for my floor Kong. You can choose whichever book is going to be your first and your second. For me, my burgundy book here on the top is going to be book number 2. I'm going to go on ahead and come on back towards the end of my mat. I'm not on my mat right now, because I know I'm going to need a little bit of extra room. I'm going to dive out. I'm going to do a Kong. And I've been doing them for 15 whole episodes at this point, coach. So I'm pretty good at my floor Kongs. I've been practicing. So I'm going to push them a little bit further than I did when we first talked about them. Just to start, let me get on nice and low, get my hands ready, and do my basic floor Kong, where I kind of catch myself primarily with my hands, pop off of my hands, and set myself down on my feet. And as you can see, I have my 2 books here, book 1, book 2, and both my hands and feet went down at that same space. I'm going to go on ahead, set that book number 2, Shakespeare. Thanks, buddy. He's going to go down just a little bit further. I'm going to squat down again. Hands are aiming for the space about my first book, and feet are aiming for the space about my second book. Hands are ready and flat, primed. I'm already like this when I'm going for my Kong. Even if I'm doing a Kong on a big dive out in the world, I'm keeping my hands primed and ready. Always. So, hands are out and ready. I'm going to go right into those hands, pop off by using my shoulders and my back, shrugging a whole lot, quite a lot actually, to pop off and push my feet through. So, there we go. Now, I get to practice this control and accuracy by not actually landing on my book. Please don't destroy your literature. That is beautiful, beautiful works of art. So please don't destroy your books, guys. We are going to practice just a few more at this distance if we need to. Or, if you're like me and you feel comfortable, we can slide it further just a little bit. Now, I'm sure you can understand how at this point we're working on our floor Kong, but simultaneously we're working on our Kong to precision. We're applying the idea that I have to get my hands down for my vault, and then my feet have to land accurately for my book. Not exactly on it, but wherever it's marking that space. So I'm going to keep doing that until I can get to the point where I can precision nearly my whole body away from my hands. That's really a Kong Pre. That's like a floor Kong Pre, but a Kong to precision nonetheless. And then doing that on a block makes it way easier. So get down nice and low, have your adjustments. I've made mine. I will be making mine. I'm going to do another floor Kong, primed hands, dive ready, and block and pop through the shoulders. Don't forget, we're going to flick the floor away. So, pop onto the hands and flick the floor away. Nice. Now I can increase my challenge, again, by sliding my book further, as far as I feel comfortable. One of the other things that I can do to increase my challenge is take my first book, the place where my hands are supposed to go, and I can adjust that back closer towards my start. Now I know that I need a little bit of dive room to do a big movement at my current level, but I am also aware that I can train myself to be better. So instead of having more space for my hands like I did before, now I'm going to have a little bit less space and still have to surmount a further space on the end. The trick to this is staying low. When I have an elevated obstacle, I have to try and dip my torso to nearly the height of that surface. Now, I'm not going to put my torso on the floor, of course, but that is the idea, that I'm going to have to get low enough that I can launch up off my obstacle. So if I had an obstacle that was this high, and I dip my body down, I'm only going up from my calm. And so this idea is what we want, this skipping rock almost, skipping a stone on the water. We are the stone, we're going to skip quickly off our hands and try and come up onto our feet again. If I stay low at the start of that movement, then I can block through my arms and press my chest and chin and shoulders and everything up here so that I'm able to change the orientation of my body. We're going to talk about that a little bit, or for a little bit rather. Come back to your mat, feet on the end, and just be mindful of your books for now. We're going to go down into a push-up position. One of my favorite positions. I know, you guys should already know that. So, down in our push-up. We've already worked on this before. It is the shrug, right? Where we dip our chest as low as we can by kind of doing that pinch from our shoulder circles and warm-ups and mobility. We kind of dip our chest down and then push our chest up. So we're going to shrug our spine in a few times, do a few of those big, I like to refer to them as hollow push-ups. So we've done them a few times. We're going to call them hollow push-ups because I'm pushing my body into a hollow and letting it sink and pushing it into hollow, not doing a full push-up. So in that push-up, hold, sink in, hollow up, sink in, hollow up, sink in, hollow up. Just a few more. Sink in, hollow up, sink in, hollow up, sink in, hollow up. Good. So the idea is that a big part of our calm is that we're using those muscle groups to help us block or to bounce, right? Bounce is kind of like the street turn or rebound for blocking, which is where we get this neat little impact. The same way that if you've ever jumped on a trampoline or punched on a spring floor, you rebound, you bounce. We call it blocking. So we do end up blocking a little bit in these bigger movements, or when we're doing a calm to precision or a calm to cat. So getting a good series of blocking in your shoulders is super helpful. Now, another workout that we're going to do, I really enjoy doing this one, is going to be back on the first half of our mat, bottom half of our mat. We're going to be in a monkey crawl. We're going to practice just our floor calm, but we're really trying to focus on the orientation of our spine. When I'm in this monkey crawl position, my back, my spine is almost flat like a table. And now in order for me to finish in my floor calm and precision landing, I have to tilt my spine a whole 90 degrees. I go from laying down to straight upright. And that's the real emphasis here. Is I'm in my monkey crawl. When I go through, I'm focusing really on how I change like the orientation of my upper body. Now I did land a little bit flat on my heels. So the goal is here to kind of catch yourself on your toes, set in and balance, but really stay upright with good posture. So again, monkey crawl to start. You hear both of my legs are kind of in and ready to go through my hands. Squat, sat back a little bit, flat back. I'm going to push through and pop off my hands, flick the floor away. Orientation of the spine should change and I should come up. Just a few more of those. Starting that monkey crawl, whew, it's a condensed position and it can get really stressful or straining on your legs. So it's a good spot for our workout. So we're going to do just a few more. So down there, in that hold, ready, primed to push and flick for that Kong. Go. Nice. And now, in order for me to maintain my balance at such a low point, I do have to go back into a little bit of a lean. But there is a very significant change in my spinal orientation. I've gone from this flat table to upright and then back just a little bit over into like 45-degree lean to balance. Just another one, and then we're going to move on. So monkey crawl, ready, from that tabled spine, and Kong through. All right, now, the idea for us really to pull off our Kong to precision, like I said, on an elevated surface, is that we dip down and we go into it, and you have to do it smooth and seamless. So we're going to enter our next few of our Kong to precision by practicing our good old friend, the gather step. So we're going to stand at a slight distance away from our mat. Now guys, I'm going to move both my hand book and my foot book just a little bit further. Sounds a little weird, I know, but I'm going to slide them over just a little bit further. So that way now I have separate aiming points and I have room to kind of emphasize my gather step. So I'm standing back at the edge of my mat, back past the edge of my mat. My books are laid out. I'm going to give it a good old step in to that light, nice low squat. Step in 1, step in 2, get all the way down, and go right into it. From this upright position, as I step in, my arms are priming for the swing. So back here on step 1, I prime my hands. Boom. Hands are already out and open and ready. And I get as low as I can for that first step for the circumstance. Right now I'm going to get low for that floor. So gather step, floor Kong. Easy enough. Okay, I know it's a long movement. Not everyone has the space to practice this. I get that. So we can condense it. I can shorten the whole thing up. Hands towards the middle, feet towards the end, right? Boom. Now, standing just barely, maybe a foot away from the edge of my mat, step into that nice low squat, swing, and go. And really just focus on blocking through your shoulders and smoothly moving from up to down on your hands to up out again, and try and imagine yourself, like I said before, that rock skipping on water. Because we need to make that point where we contact our hands a very fast one. If we're doing a very big Kong to precision, or the Kong is here and then the gap is several feet away, several yards away over there, the idea would be that we're moving at that first part very quickly, launching off of it. And then the rest of that is me flying through the air and trying to get ready to absorb the power it took to get across that. So, for as big as your dive, remember that you are going to have that much power in your landing. So the first half of your movement will not always equal the second half of your movement. You have to be prepared for that imbalance. You have to be strong enough to handle it yourself. If you guys are doing big movements, it's just going to take that. And I know I kept saying Kong to precision, but the only way you're going to ever do a Kong to cat is to really get in there and get your Kong precisions up. Because you can't Kong to cat and hang flat and feel good about that. That's like when you hit that wall, if you're hanging flat, you're slamming your body and you're absorbing with the wrong part of your body. So for you to get a Kong to precision means that you've got your lower body halfway ready for a Kong to cat. And so when I say that this Kong to precision is practice for your Kong to cat, it's because it is. And anybody that's actually trained, that's really gone out there and done it, would know and would agree. So you guys, practice one and you'll get the other. It's kind of how that goes. It's 2 for 1, but it means that you have to really dedicate to that first practice to get that double payoff. Okay guys? So, Kong to precision. There's a lot there. The other one is your dash to precision. Now, this episode may sound a little bit more serious, and that's because we've gotten quite a bit more serious. All the skills that we're doing at this point, we are hurtling our body through the air. You don't take that lightly. So, please just be very careful. Know that these are cool, fun workouts where we are trying to get ourselves able and ready to send ourselves hurtling through the air. So don't just go doing it. Take your time, do the practice, build yourselves up. Then send it. Carefully. With friends, training partners, never send it alone in case you accidentally get hurt. Now, our dash to precision. Hopefully that was enough time for everyone to catch the breath and set it in. Dash to precision. We're going to use our chair. Not exactly going to have to use our books, but our books are going to help for a part of our workouts. Keep them close by. I said chair because chairs usually have an armrest. I've got a very sturdy armrest. I'm able to actually lift myself up on that armrest. I can balance. Not everybody is going to have, 1, the permission to do that, so ask your parent. 2, not everyone's going to have the space to do it or the arm reach to do it. So, 3, be ready to sometimes still have to put your hands down here by your side and lift yourself up. If you can put your hands on an armrest like this, great. If you do not have an armrest like that, but you have somewhere in your house where you're able to sit and practice your dash, where maybe it's a little bit taller, then you can do it there. I'm not going to do it there, that's not going to bounce, it's not going to work well. So, this works out for me. If you guys need to take a moment to readjust and find that spot, go for it. Now, I've got my books over here by my side, and I'm going to keep my yoga mat, plus cool fun chair for our dash to precision for our practice. In order for us to really get a good workout out of this though, we're going to start on the floor next to our chair with a few dips. So hands are in the seat, bottom is on the floor, legs are out just like so. If you guys can, keep your legs straight. This is how I would prefer for you to be working your dips. And if you had a taller space, then I would prefer for you to be doing it there. As long as it's balanced, it's not going to fall over and get you or anyone else hurt or damaged. Right? Damage anything. So just a few dips to get the muscles in the back of our arm ready for our dash. Now, of course, we're not actually doing our dash vault here. Not yet. And I mean, not at home. Not really. Unless you have the fortune of a vault box. But these dips, woo, they're going to make you strong enough in the right areas to perform your dash vault when your hands hit the block. You have to catch yourself. The fact that our hands are also in this forward position where our fingers are pointed towards the direction of our legs is great. Now coach, whoa, those dips are really tough. They're really hard. I'm getting really tired. Put your foot flat on the floor instead of flex. If you put your foot flat, then you can kind of use your legs a little bit to help you stand your hips through that movement. Now the idea really is our arms, because our Kong and our dash and a lot of our vaults are really arm heavy movements. It means that I'm using them the whole time to pull that off. So those dips are great. Dips are awesome. I love them. They're a part of that. Now the other thing that I want you guys to be able to do, if you have the chance to, is on that floor, we're going to do a few what we refer to as butt scoots. Coach, what's a butt scoot? Let's break it down real quick. Sitting on my mat, you can see my bottom's towards the back end of my mat. My hands are going to go here towards the middle of my mat, and I'm going to scoot my bottom towards the front side of my mat. When I do this, I'm not going to drag my butt across the floor like a dog. I'm going to lift myself up, right? So I'm going to have myself sitting essentially at a pike. I'll do a slight leg bend, slight tuck in the body, lean in, get my hands ready so I can lift myself up. If I can't lift up, this is going to be a hard thing, because I'm going to lift up, curl my hips, and swing my hips to where my heels are at now. So lift up, curl and swing. Oh my goodness. If I couldn't lift up, like, that's going to be super tough. Guess who brought books? We did! Super sick. So set your books down where you can put your hands on your books. And then you can get, now the bigger your book, the better your lift, you can get a little bit more lift off the floor when doing this movement. Please, again, don't damage your literature. Lovely books. I love my books. Have books, right? Take care of them, and they will help take care of you. Literally right now. So, I'm going to put those down towards the middle of my mat. Bottom is back towards the back side of the mat. Slightly in that tucked and curled position. Hands are ready. I'm going to lift myself up. Curl my hips, push them forwards. Wow, that's really tough. Yes, crit. Absolutely. Reset. But don't do it as slow as I just did. If we kind of get ourselves going into it, it makes it significantly easier to pull off. So take a nice deep breath and give it a good, 4 at full speed. There you go. Bonus points, you can go backwards with it. So that's one of the other things that I would like for you to try. So when we say these are booty scoops or butt scoops, the idea here is that you're not actually dragging across the floor, but that you're lifting yourself up and carouseling yourself over to the next spot and doing the same thing in reverse. So I'm going to go for it now. Forward, then backward. So lean in, lift up, rock it out, and let's come back, lift up, and come back. Now there's a little bit of kick that I do with my feet. My feet bend in and they kick out. That helps. It's the same kick that you use on a dash. If this was a wall that went straight through here, and I was running and I had jumped into the air, my legs are going over the wall. I'm nearly in my dash vault, right? So now what I have to do is I have to get ready before I slam onto that wall. I have to get my hands ready to catch. So hands are going to be ready, feet are up in the air. I'm going to catch myself when I rock in. I'm going to kick my feet out, and that's going to help me to push my hips out. It's also going to help me to lift them up while I do that whole thing. So, hands are ready, feet are up, I'm going to rock in. And on the way back in, I will hold my knees, grab with my hands, push with my arms, and flick my feet up to, again, lift my hips, because the act of kicking my feet up creates a little bit of lift. And so whether we're doing a dash vault forward or a floor workout, we're moving backwards, that little kick up, that little kick up can be everything to really help you create that last little bit of lift. If that's all these muscle groups are maxing out, and you're like, I can't get the lift. Add the technique. Technique and form. They'll outbeat the strength almost every day. So stay both strong, but mindful that good technique will help you. Let's do a few more of our booty scoots, both forward and backwards. Oh my goodness, and I don't know if you guys can hear me or not, but I am breathing that whole time. You have to. You hold your breath, you fall out. So breathe in the nose, out the mouth. Again, in the nose, out the mouth. Make sure that you guys keep those books close by, because we are going to do just a little bit more of a workout using them being mindful of where they're at, what they're going to do to help us. They're going to go for a quick drink of water, guys. So books are off to the side. Matt's still taken care of. Chair, we're coming back to you in just a second, but man, I need the water. All right. Okay. We have our chair. We're going to practice our next workout back over here in our chair, just like that. So the idea here is that I can lift myself up using that lift for my butt scoot that I just did earlier, right? And I can kick myself out and travel and land on my feet. Book acted like a great marker for my foot placement. What it's going to act like right now, currently, is a tracker for where I land when I do land. So, if I'm holding onto my chair, I'm going to kind of go at an angle so you guys can see the depth and the distance of my movement. And I have my armrest and I can lift myself up. The higher up that I can lift myself off of that space and the more room that I have for my hips to swing through, the better this is going to be. So I'm going to lift myself up and I'm going to swing and try and push that chair away. Now, wherever I land, I'm going to put good old trusty book right about where my foot was so I can track my landing and track my progress for my dash. So, I hope you're ready. We're going to just go for it. From my chair, lifting myself up, kicking my feet out, or kicking my feet up and out like we did in our butt scoop, then pushing the chair away, shrugging, similarly to what we did with our Kong when we did our Kong earlier in class. Combining the two of those movements to really get the most out of our dash, this sitting dash from where we're at. So, sitting and lift, and it's going to be kick and push. And we'll see where we go. Nice. So I've landed right here, as if the mat wasn't a good enough marker. I'm going to put my book off to the side, obviously not in the way of where I'm going to land, but off to the side just as a spot to kind of track my progress. So, just over there, that's attempt number 1. And I'm going to give it a few more shots, just so that way you guys can see it. I'm going to do a few more facing you, and then I'm going to tilt out, and I'm going to do a few more off to the side. So again, you guys get multiple opportunities to really check out the movement. So lift, kick, and throw. So just a little bit further. Nice. Reset. Take a nice deep breath in between, catch your breath, and give every attempt the respect that it deserves. You don't want to accidentally slip out and get yourself hurt. You also don't want to accidentally land on your bottom and not get your feet under you. And lastly, you don't want to destroy your furniture. So be careful. If you have permission, great. If you don't have permission, find somewhere else that you can practice, like a part of the couch or like the part of the chair over here, right? Where I can push myself up. Cool. And if that was where I was landing, I'm back over here, and I'm tracking my progress according to my circumstances for practice. A few more. Nice, middle of my mat. Oh, thank you for joining us. We had some technical difficulties, but now I'm back. I was doing my dash out of my chair, practicing that drill. Going forward, I'm going to kind of leave that marker there. I'm going to use this one so you guys can see it a little bit more laterally across as I move. Keep that close. And then you guys will see the emphasis on the kick and the throw working together. Nice. So I'm going to go and see if I can't do any further than that, because it seems like that's about where I maxed out. That's good. You know, if you find your max, then you have to comfortably train it. Yeah, I'm not really breaking past that distance. Try it again. Now, when you are really able to get that good push and that good body movement, then you really know having something like this that helps you, having hands on an elevated surface, slightly more elevated than your hips are actually, is super fun, super helpful. Just a little bit further there. So, the idea of our dash is just really that it's one of the few vaults where we move with our feet in front of us. Often it is shown in like movies and TV where people like jump in and they kick through a glass window and then keep moving because your legs are very strong and they're able to do that sort of thing in theory. But the other place where we often would be using our dash is where we have, unsure footing on the other side of our obstacle. If I'm vaulting with something and I need to see where I'm putting my feet, doing a dash helps me to put my feet where I can see the whole time that I'm moving. And it's also one of the few vaults that you can do while you're at full speed. You don't have to adjust your speed for it. So super cool, super fun vault. Becomes very useful. Your Kong is probably like the biggest, I'd say, biggest vault in all of parkour. It gets like all of the fame. And it's because it's a super practical vault. Like I said, just practicing your floor Kong will help you to practice your Kong up. It will help you to practice your Kong vault. It will help you to practice your Kong with precision and your Kong with cat, as well as your Kong to literally anything else. So practice those workouts and practice those skills. If you guys are thirsty, now is a great chance to get your last drink of water before we go ahead and get ready and start our stretches. So we're coming into the very last minutes of class. So if you guys want, go ahead and get your water. We're going to do one more workout and do our stretches after your water break. So. Whew. All right. Thank you. Wonderful literature. You've been super helpful today. You're all done. You are allowed to relax, to chill for another time. All done with the chair as well. So now we're going to do, like I said, one last workout to kind of make the most out of today's practice. And it's going to be a tough one. There's not very often that I say knee push-ups are like an appropriate thing to do. And so what we're going to do currently is a few knee push-ups, but we're going to do a very, very big difference to them than we would our normal push-ups. So a few knee push-ups, like almost like normal, right? Knees are down.
Good.
Alright, so, like I said, our last workout before our end of class stretches and AMA. We're going to get down like we're doing some knee push-ups. So, knees are down. I like to, if we are going to do knee push-ups, I like to also keep my feet up in the air. Helps to keep an additional emphasis on your hamstring and your calf. Now, holding this position, doing our push-up, just like so, that's one thing. The next most important part of this movement is that I actually want this to be a jumping push-up. So we're going to go down, and we're going to push away from the floor. And that is our biggest trick for today's workout, is for your Kong vault and for your dash vault, we have to be able to handle that impact when we catch ourselves. We also have to be able to push ourselves up and away and out of the floor. And this knee down push-up, while we are doing our jumping push-up, you emphasize the flick on your fingers where the floor flies away. So back on in there, feet are up, push up, we're going to dip down. no, you don't have to do them as fast as I'm doing them. You can take your time. You can do them a little slower, right? You can drop down and take a nice deep breath. Exhale and push away and try and flick your hand. But the idea here is that we keep our body strong, that we move it as a single unit, that we emphasize our ability to really use, guys rest if you need to, but to use our muscles at their end of their range of motion. When I'm first reaching for something and I first absorb an impact, and I start to catch myself, my muscle needs to be strong at that point. And there's almost no workouts or lifts that we do that naturally help us to do that. But these jumping workouts, these explosive jumping ones, they will help. Now, if you guys did have an elevated surface where you can put your hands, that will also help you. So if I swing on over and I'm doing my push-up with my hands on my couch, so I'm over here, and if I'm here like this, push-ups are easier to do in this circumstance, okay? So if I am doing my push-ups like that, in and out, doing my throw, then because my hands are up, makes it easier. So depending on how high up you go, even up a little higher maybe, right, would make doing the push-up and the throw a little bit easier. So everyone has the opportunity to really work on that at different levels, different heights, different variations. If you guys are really strong, great. Go straight into your push-up, start working on jumping push-ups. Work on clapping push-ups. Work on Superman push-ups. Work on all sorts of cool, fun push-up variations because they're going to help to make your explosive capability a lot better, a lot stronger. So, those are your workouts. That's the plan. If you follow it, you'll be golden. I'm going to go ahead and get started with some upper body stretches today. Woo. We're going to start with standing. Adjust my mat. Stand nice and strong in the center of it. Arm across the torso, just like so. I'm going to go ahead and grab the underside of that and pull it to my shoulder, elbow to shoulder. Nice. Keep breathing in through your nose, out through your mouth. Don't forget, today was episode 15. Worked primarily on vaults. The two that we worked on specifically are your guys' more advanced variation of your Kong and your dash, being your dash precision and your Kong precision. And again, working your Kong precision is going to work your Kong for cat. Switch arms. So you would think that that's the same for your dash to precision and your dash to cat. You're right. That is absolutely correct. The better your dash is, the better your dash to cat is going to be. That's just how there is. Like, that's. I wish there was more I could say about it. That's all there is to it. So, like, practice those movements. Okay, guys? If you have any questions, or if we have any questions from our previous, then we would take them at this time. But unfortunately, it seems I've done a really good job and you have no questions. So, thank you for doing your arm stretches there. We're going to do a few more arm stretches up and behind the head. Grab it and pull. While you guys are there and following along, I want to take the opportunity to thank all of the cool, fun medical workers that are, braving the fight against the current conditions of the world. There is a pandemic, there is an illness, and it is rapidly spreading, but there are a lot of people that are sacrificing their time and energy, and they are working very hard and very tirelessly to, combat that and to help the people that are sick. So thank you to all of our medical people. Oh, good. Release that arm, switch to our opposite side. Many of those people still need to eat, and there's a lot of people that are still feeding them, Like, there's plenty of people that are at the grocery stores that are currently stocking them and making sure that when you guys go in, you're able to actually get your groceries. Fortunately, because people have been more, person-friendly, we've been able to make sure that everybody gets eggs, and everybody gets milk, and everybody gets all of their necessities. So that, no one is deprived of anything that they should have at this time while they're at home. And so everybody's got this great sense of humanity. So mad appreciation to all of the people that are working currently in those food positions, right? Good. And we're gonna do just a few hugs across the body, just shake those arms out. And don't worry guys, I've still got plenty of thank yous. Like thank you to all of the people that are actually at home, that are following the quarantine guidelines, that are staying there and just kind of, well, following along, doing classes at home and stuff. That's super helpful. We're gonna reach one hand up and over. And as we reach up and over, we're going to reach our bottom hand out and turn our torso to try and point towards our ceiling. So I'm gonna lean over here, reach out and tilt. And just keep breathing. It's an intense one for me. I'm not very flexible in my back. We did quite a little ab workout today. We were doing all of our vaults for our dash. And let's reset. We're gonna reach overhead, the opposite side, underhand, and torso tilt. Good, and come on out of that. Nice. And you know what, guys? There's a huge thank you that I gotta give out to all the people that are doing, transportation services. Because there are some people that unfortunately have to work, but don't have the ability to drive themselves. And so they either have to hop on a bus or a taxi or Uber or something. And so like the people that are still, risking going out during the quarantine, that have to work, that are providing for their families or just for themselves or whatever it is. Thank you guys. Thank you for everyone for doing their part. And thank you guys for joining us during our live stream. Really appreciate you guys hanging out with us. We're only going to do one more stretch here today, and then we're going to sign off. So if you guys do still have a elevated space, like I have my chair right next to me, and the back of my chair is nice and elevated, I'm going to put my hands up on that and then dip my chest down low. So hands are on. I like to straddle my feet so that I can get my hips lower than this, and then my chest tries to go lower than my hands. Nice back stretch. It's great, especially after all that cool fun stuff we did today. Nice. All right, everyone. I'd say we had a really productive time today. I really appreciate all of your input. Today's AMA, very valuable. We got a whole lot of questions handled. Super awesome. No, guys, if you do have questions though, and you missed your opportunity to ask them live, ask them now if you're watching it in post, because they're going to get recorded, immortalized in the internet. But so will our answer, because we're going to try and answer every single question we get. So guys, let us know what you got going on, and we're going to give you what we can together. Thanks guys, hydrate. Now we are also continuing our streams, so check us out. We have tomorrow coming up with Coach Summer. We have our Acroflex. So check us out when we have an upcoming stream. We do plenty of streams, like almost every day of the week. The only day that we're not adding new content currently is on Sundays. But we have tomorrow, which is going to be Acroflex number 16 with Coach Summer. It's going to be super fun Thursday. Very excited. We'll see you guys at 3 tomorrow. If you're interested, you can check us out on Fridays as well for our strength and conditioning class, which we just started, and it's very popular, super fun one. Very excited for it. That's from 12 to 1 on Fridays, as well as our 3 to 4 parkour with me. That's right, you guessed it. And then finishing off Fridays, we have tricking from 6 to 7. Throw some kicks, have some fun. Guys, stay hydrated, have a good day, wash your hands, take care of yourselves, check out our streams, check out all of our past streams too. We'll see you soon. Thanks everyone.